The copper tea kettle skittered at its magic-given top speed through the woodland track. It had already polished its bottom shiny on the alternate turf and the bare earth it skidded across. Its owner, the AAA+ magician S. Carolinus, had once, many years ago, commanded it always to be 3/4 full of water for tea, and to have that water on the boil. In spite of its mission, it was faithfully 3/4 full and on the boil now. On the boil, in Carolinus's terms, meant that the kettle water was just below the boiling point, so that Carolinus could have his cup of tea when he wanted it, night or day. So now the kettle continued to skitter and almost boil. Only as it bounced over the uneven ground, it occasionally splashed some of that water high against its hotter, dry, higher-up sides, and that water burst in steam out of its spout. When this happened, it gave a sharp, brief whistle. It could not help whistling, any more than it could help being on the boil, or going to Carolinus's rescue, which was what it was doing now. It was only a kettle, but if, as some folks suspected, the articles of Carolinus's cottage had personalities of their own, this kettle's heart was in its present task. So it skittered through the wood, at the best speed with which Carolinus had endowed it, giving voice occasionally to its sharp whistle, and the creatures of the woodland it passed reacted accordingly. A bear, feeding on all four legs, stood up suddenly with a woof of surprise as it went by. Arag, the English wolf, who feared nothing but had an ordinary wolf's prudence where unknown things were concerned, leapt abruptly to cover behind a tree as it went by, in order to observe it from relative safety. A boar farther down the path, who was in the habit of charging anything in sight on general principles, blinked his eyes at it, his curly tusks gleaming in the sunlight, got ready to charge, then thought better of it in this case. He backed away, off the path, and let the little kettle pass. So it proceeded. Deer fled from it. Small burrowing creatures dived into their burrows at the sight of it. In short, it spread consternation in every direction as it passed. But this was only the beginning, the preamble to what happened when at last it broke out of the trees into the cleared area surrounding the Castle de Bois de Melancontrie, the castle of that gentleman, the famous Dragon Knight, Baron Sir James Eckert de Bois de Melancontrie at River Oak, currently not in residence.